Okay, good afternoon, viewers, and welcome back to another episode of Business Spotlight. And we have today with us, I'm very excited about this one. We have Sarah Rhodes from Plastic Free Southeast Asia. I'm very excited to hear about a mission-driven business. So welcome, Sarah.
Thanks, Stephen. Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Tell us a bit about your business.
Yeah, so my business is an advisory and training business mostly. We do behavior change training with teams to help bring them on the sustainability journey, mostly working with tourism sector businesses.
Excellent. So your target market's tourism businesses, and you're helping them remove plastics from their operation.
Yes.
Is that?
Sorry, yeah, I should have said that. Yes, focusing on single-use plastics, but also other areas of sustainability.
Okay, sustainability. And how does one get into this game? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, it's interesting. A few things came together, and then of course everything seems obvious when you look back. And I can see like my fascination with tourism and environment was kind of like peppered throughout my life. But the big things were I did climate leadership training with Al Gore's Climate Reality Project.
Okay.
And I discovered the Plastic Free July campaign, which was started by a small group of dedicated people in Western Australia in 2011. And it made a really profound, both of these things made a really profound impact on me. And I thought, well, there must be other people that are interested in learning about this. And yeah, one thing led to another. I put my hand up to speak at an event. I decided to run my own event. It got covered by a newspaper. And then, businesses started saying, hey, could you come and talk to my team? Because we've been trying to go plastic free for a long time. We could maybe use your help. And then I started a business.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That brave leap, starting a business.
Yeah.
What's if you could illuminate us, what's the big goal for your business? What's the mission?
Yeah, like clean and beautiful environments and healthier environments for people in Southeast Asia and Australia.
Excellent. And you seem pretty passionate about that.
Yeah.
As a business owner with a strong mission, how does that help you in the tough times? Because we all know business can be tough.
Yeah, there's definitely been some tough times. But I think it is coming back to that. I have a sort of, I guess, a moral, personal value that I want to make things better than I find them. And so when things get hard, when things do become really difficult, which they have in the last few years, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Just going back and going, well, how can I do that in just even the smallest way? How can I make things just a little bit better?
Nice. Focusing on something small that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that. That's really good advice. You alluded to it there. What was the effect of COVID on your business? Like, how was it prior? Then what happened?
Stephen, it was how long have we got? It was brutal. So I started the business back in 2015, and it went through a bunch of iterations. And it was 2019 that I decided I needed to move back to Australia to take things a little bit higher, go to the next level, engage Australians on the mission as well, because Australia is a huge consumer of single-use plastics. And I'm like, right, it's my home country, got to get back there. It's time to take this up a notch. Of course, unbeknownst to me, just a couple of months later, really, like I got back in the October of 2019, and things were already starting to get shaky around December 2019, January 2020 in Southeast Asia. And so obviously still very connected to that part of the world. I hadn't even thought about, looking for work or doing anything like that, because I have a business. I'm just going to be, having coffees and meeting people and, growing the network and telling them what I do. And then, of course, everything shut down. So I persevered for a while. I have a digital marketing background. I'm like, oh, well, everyone seems to be pivoting. Let's have a pivot and we'll do some online classes. And what I found was that not many people were really too concerned about the environment at that stage of things, because there was so much other stuff going on that, you know, it really seemed to me that it fell off people's radar. But like, nope, not worried about this right now. So yeah, so it was hard. And, you know, every year since I began the company, I've run a big campaign during July, inspired by the Plastic Free July campaign, and like, you know, doing that in my community as well. And halfway through Plastic Free July in 2020, I was just like, sorry guys, I'm just gonna pause this whole thing for a bit and I'll let you know what happens.
So you actually shuttered it for a while, did you?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hard. It was heartbreaking, but I didn't know how I could keep going when I felt like I wasn't really making the impact I wanted it to make. And I didn't know that it was really helping anyone. And it certainly wasn't, wasn't feeling good to me at that point.
Wow, so that went really low.
Yeah, that went really low.
You're honestly back doing it. So
yeah.
People started to care again, or was it something else that took it back off?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was. I think, yeah, sort of glimmers and people reaching out and just realizing that it wasn't me and it wasn't the mission. It was just crazy circumstances beyond anyone's control. And then, yeah, over time, I've been able to you know, feel more confident in that and understand that, yeah, actually I am helping a lot of people. And it's always reassuring to hear that. Yeah, it was hard. We're still working our way back. You know, picked up some work on the side, and eventually, yeah. And then got engaged with more people in the sustainability community here in Sydney once we could get out and about again. And just actually, like, I started a small sustainability chat group, and that definitely helped pick me up, like getting together with like-minded people and talking about the challenges and the successes and all of that kind of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, there are other people. We do all care. We all want this cleaner, healthier environment thing. So we're, yeah, back on track.
Nice. It's a good story of perseverance. You've got a digital marketing background, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're kind of in the behavior change game. We want people to be different.
Yeah.
How do you go about getting new customers? What's the sales and marketing angle for you?
I find like networking and face-to-face is what's worked well for me, and actually starting to get a lot of referrals now. So people that have worked with me in the past will hear about it word of mouth and be like, oh, such and such said we should talk to you.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a good signal.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, no, that is a very good signal. I got a question that's kind of got two parts. So where do you see your trend going? And when I say trend, this businesses wanting to be more environmentally conscious, wanting to actually do something about it. And where do you see that going? And secondly, where do you see your business going with that wave, I suppose?
Yeah. I think the trend, I mean, there's a couple of different parts. I think that there will be the kind of businesses that I've worked with to date, which are those that are individuals that happen to be in managerial roles, usually at hotel general managers or heads of organizations, or perhaps sometimes in the CSR team of organizations, but they have a personal passion for the same kind of thing. So they're personally going through the awareness of going, oh my gosh, there's plastic there, there's plastic there, there's plastic there. What do I do? Oh, great, there's Sarah, help. Or perhaps they've already tried to implement a lot of stuff in the business, but they're just finding that the team don't really get as excited as they do. So that's, I guess, where the behavior change part comes in. We sort of bring them into the conversation, and then they get inspired, and the most of them do anyway, and that's enough to take everything forward within that business. Another part of it will be, there's like huge conversations happening now around ESG and sustainability, and of course greenwashing is something that comes up a lot. And so there will be probably the kind of businesses that are like, okay, we don't want to get caught out for greenwashing by not knowing what we're doing. Yep. Like I don't think anyone's really intentionally going out there, but there's a lot of people that will, jump on you if you're not doing it right. So there will be the kind of businesses that will need to get some extra support to be able to make sure that they can continue on their missions and, incorporating sustainability into their businesses, but know that they feel confident that they're doing it right and they're not going to get called out.
So does that allude to your business and your positioning about legitimacy and that kind of stuff around this is the real deal?
Yeah. I think it's when the whole team knows what the mission is and the why, and they understand some of the fundamentals about sustainability. Then, especially when it comes to operations and marketing, talking to each other, marketing can communicate what's going on in a really authentic way. And then when you're being authentic and you're doing your best and you've got the right language to talk about it, then you go with that. And then there's like not this sort of made up thing. I know there's certainly been jobs in my online past where I've been told, write about this. It's like, but shouldn't I go and see that thing in real life? And they're like, no, just research online. It's really hard to do that. So, giving them the knowledge and I guess empowering those teams to be able to talk about genuinely what's happening. And I think being really honest about it, which is like, we did this thing, this is great. We're not perfect. We're on a journey. We're doing our best to incorporate sustainability and we're learning as we go.
Yeah, nice. What's the next 12 to 18 months looking like for your business? What's big and exciting on the horizon?
Yeah, big and exciting. Well, I was so happy to go back to Southeast Asia for the second part of last year. And I will now be sharing my time between Southeast Asia and Sydney. And there's some big stuff going on in Cambodia. And chatting with some, I don't know how much I can say. Okay. Chatting about some pretty cool plastic-free locations.
Okay, so some international mystery going on there. Yeah, and you said you started the business in 2015. That means you're 8 years in. You've passed a lot of the milestones where businesses die, which is congratulations. What have been the kind of the three big learnings as an entrepreneur that you've taken away from this journey? To someone starting out a business, what should they know?
That it's not always easy, but it's always worthwhile, in my opinion.
Nice.
This might not be the easy road, but it's definitely, I mean, even from before I made the transition, I remember working on a particular marketing campaign and just being horrified at what I was doing and thinking, okay, I'm going to be working my ass off. I'm just going to say, you can bleep this out if you need to. Working my ass off if I'm working for myself, but at least I know I'll be working for something I believe in. And that has definitely remained true. And I remind myself when it gets tough, it's like, you know what? It's tough sometimes, but it's worthwhile. So that would be number one. Number two is probably having a business is a bit like taking care of the harbour bridge. You keep making improvements. You paint it from one end to the other end, and then you start again.
Like that analogy.
Keep applying new knowledge. And I'm always wanting to learn new things, open to new ideas, and trying to fine tune it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
What's the third one? I don't know. I'm not sure what a third one is.
That's okay. That's okay.
I do know a third one. Find like-minded people. I've been really, really fortunate to come across an amazing impact community that I've become part of in the last year and a half. And they're my work fam. We all might be like sole proprietors or startups or whatever, but we're all, trying to do something meaningful and with purpose. And so being able to, spend time with people like that is really amazing.
Yeah, that's priceless, that advice. It's, you need entrepreneurship can be lonely.
Yeah.
When you tribe, the people you surround yourself with, they can lift you up. Yeah. That's fantastic. You mentioned there about your own learning journey. What do you do deliberately to improve yourself as a business owner?
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Any good recommendations?
Okay. Well, I absolutely love the Mind Your Business podcast by James Wedmore. It's about combining spirituality and business. You create your business from the inside out. So yeah, that's sort of part of the spiel. And so I try and start my day with a little bit of time outdoors, ideally going for a walk, listen to a bit of the podcast, get inspired for the day. That's definitely something. I find podcasts have really changed the trajectory for me and given me so many new ideas and exposure to, different successful business models and other people who've walked the path before me. I invest in training programs. So I'm doing a business reset program on Monday. So I'm pretty excited about that, just to start the year, have a look, what's working, what needs work, all of that kind of stuff. I think, courses, podcasts, collaborations,
and
flexibility.
I love making it part of your morning routine. That's
thanks. Yeah.
That's a cool thing there. Okay, so before we wrap up, who is your ideal target market? Who's the ideal prospect for you?
For me, it is general manager of a hotel. Would be my ideal customer. Yeah.
Anywhere in the world or here in Australia?
Australia and Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is big, to be fair. I've worked in, quite a few of the Southeast Asian countries already, but I am focusing at the moment on Thailand and Cambodia and Sydney, of course, for Australia, since that's where I am.
Awesome. And so if any of you are out there, and I hope you are, Sarah, how can they reach out to you?
They can contact me at my website, which is plasticfreec, so it's sea.co.
Awesome, and we'll put that in the notes on the video as well. Excellent. Really appreciate you sharing your insights there, and it's inspiring to see how a strong mission and a founder who feels very strongly about the impact they're making in the world, having that can get us through the tough times in a business, including it being shut over COVID. So very inspiring. I want to thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.